Married women are secretly flocking to this man, doing anything they can do to spend just an hour alone with him. And their husbands are totally cool with it. In fact, they're encouraging it. What is it about this guy that has women so obsessed with him? Well, this doctor has an ancient recipe, a recipe that you're about to see that can get you some of the hugest, hardest, strongest, and longest-lasting erections you've ever seen. Erections that are 342% more powerful, to be exact, allowing you to give your wife or girlfriend the best, most intense, longest-lasting sex she's ever had. Trust me, when you follow this simple recipe, and she pulls your underwear down for the first time and sees how big and hard you are, her jaw is going to drop, and your confidence will shoot through the roof. And this can work for nearly any man. Many of this doctor's patients are in their 60s, 70s, or older. Some have had soft or limp erections for years, yet they are now experiencing amazing, huge, hard, long-lasting erections anytime they want them, with lots of stamina and energy. Many admitting they feel 20 years younger, ready to go anytime, with lightning-fast, huge, rock-hard erections that last for hours. The doctor who discovered this secret is the head of one of the largest natural health clinics in the country. He's specialized. In it, he will reveal exactly what's inside this ancient erection recipe, the science behind why it works so well, how it's already working for thousands of his patients, and how you can use it at home to get the same results. So, whether you just want the huger, harder, longer-lasting erections, or the sexual desire and energy of a raging bull, or if you're already great in bed and just want to be even better, then grab a pen and get ready to take some notes, because this genius doctor is going to reveal his ancient recipe. He'll tell you exactly what's in it, how it works, and why it works so well, why you've likely never heard of this before, and most importantly, how you can start using this secret right from your own home tonight to shoot your sex drive through the roof and completely blow your wife or girlfriend's mind. So no matter your situation now, if you're a guy who's already great in bed and wants to use this to be even better, if you're a guy who's had so much trouble you've basically given up, or if you're the wife or girlfriend of a man who might want to give your man the gift of harder erections and more hours of sexual satisfaction for yourself, then don't move a muscle, because we're going to discover all this and more starting in just 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joe Feuerstein, although many of my patients just call me Dr. Joe, and about coming from a natural source. This one thing can help you achieve firmer, harder erections, longer, lasting erections, more frequent, faster erections, right when they are needed. And it can also help with more stamina and control during sex. This way, everything works exactly as you want, when you want, and as it should. No need for long-term drugs with potential side effects, surgery. I'm talking about a total change in your sex life, perhaps making you feel 20 years younger, more confidence, more control, knowing that at any time the mood strikes, you are ready and confident again. I know this might sound too good to be true for something coming from natural sources, and I would have said the same thing had I not seen the powerful science behind this, and seen countless men in my own medical practice able to have their sexual function boosted. And the best part is, this has nothing to do with testosterone or physical exercise or stress management or any of the things you've probably already heard of. This is unlike anything you've seen. And the weird thing is that it traces back to one of the coldest, most remote parts of the earth, where it was used by a native tribe living deep in the frozen tundra almost 500 years ago. But only recently were scientists able to prove its incredible power, boosting sexual function in 92.5% of men who tried it, making it one of the most potent secrets I've ever seen coming from a natural source. And my patients have seen the results firsthand. Here's just a few case studies from men that other doctors have sent to me, men who were told that they were hopeless cases, and perhaps even to forget ever having sex again. Things were fully functional down there. His wife was thrilled because she felt like he was attracted to her again, and he had more confidence because he could do what he wants, he could do it when he wanted, and he could do it well again. He felt younger, he felt stronger, more confident, all as a result of this. And he could see how satisfied his wife was, and that was great for him. That made him feel great. There's another guy, his name was Dan, and he came to me too. Dan is a tall, strong, he's well-built, he's a construction guy. He's the type of guy, and it's not just men who come to see me, their wives, their girlfriends, they come too. Doreen's husband, Tom, well, he was having trouble maintaining an erection during sex, and she had heard that I could be of assistance, that I could help, so she came. She was frustrated because they used to have a great sex life previously, but now she honestly felt unloved. She felt unsatisfied sexually. She had become upset at him, and he obviously felt bad about that. So I gave her my method to follow, and she returned several weeks later. She had flowers in her hands. She said the clock had gone back 20 years. They were having sex like they used to in their 20s, with a longer-lasting, firmer erections. Tom also felt more confident in every part of his life, so he started going to the gym. He started becoming more focused, more motivated. He lost 12 pounds. He packed on muscle. And these are just a fraction of the men and the women I've helped to boost their sex life. So the question is, how did I end up helping so many men, so many women with such a personal thing? Well, as I mentioned before, my name is Dr. Joe Feuerstein. I'm a physician, I'm a researcher, I'm also an associate professor at an Ivy League medical school, and I work at one of the largest alternative natural focused health clinics in the country. I've personally seen thousands of men every year for sexual challenges, and I use only natural-based approaches, which is clearly very unusual. Often it's the opposite of most doctors are telling them to do. I've become the man that other doctors send when their patients aren't doing well, can't figure out what's wrong, or when they want men every year. I am honored, privileged to say that I get a rare view into a man's personal life. I see firsthand how a man's sex life, his ability to perform, can either be a source of confidence or it can destroy his life. If a man can't maintain an erection long enough to satisfy a woman, it can be impossible for him to feel like a man. And because of this, it could be impossible to date, to keep your sex, or their man's difficulty with sexual performance is making them incredibly dissatisfied. They've even mentioned that they've had thoughts of ending the relationship or trying to find another lover who can better suit their needs and wants. I don't want this to happen to any man, and it absolutely does not need to. Regardless of your situation or the state of your relationship, I truly have a solution that can help. And it's as simple as following a 3-second method before you go into bed each night. But before I tell you exactly what the 3-second method is and how to use it, I first need to tell you how I discovered all this in the first place, so that you understand why this makes sense. I believe that God has a plan for everyone. I knew my life's purpose was to help people, and my crusade started when I was 10 years old, when I decided that my destiny was to become a healer, a physician. So after college and medical school, I was called to serve my country, and I served as a combat physician. These are methods that honestly most of my physician colleagues don't know about, but in many cases, these methods can work as well or perhaps even better than the other methods used. Or they can be combined with modern medicine for even stronger results. So when all the men started coming to my clinic, I noticed a trend. Men would almost never talk to me about their sex lives. They always came in for another reason. Things were in the bedroom. And I was honestly shocked to find the number of men who had some kind of sexual issues in the bedroom, or men having issues just maintaining erections or with sexual performance. It was absolutely staggering. We're talking about 30 million men in America having some kind of issue with sexual performance. And that number is quickly growing. And these are just the guys who admit it. The truth is, every man has to be able to perform optimally in the bedroom because he wants to satisfy his partner. Women, they can even subconsciously equate male virility with someone who has good genetics, who will be a good mate and a good lover, and even a good potential father to their children. So a man in our society, this is very, very important. It's absolutely everything. So what's the best way for you to get firmer, longer lasting erections? Okay, so erections are related to 3 things. They're related to testosterone, they're related to the brain, stress or lack of stress, calm, and they're also related to age. But at the end of the day, erections are still a physical thing, and a physical erection is caused by only one thing, and that is blood flow to the erect penis. There is one molecule in your body that is most responsible for making blood flow to the penis, and that molecule is nitric oxide. You may have heard of this, and maybe even you might know the connection between nitric oxide and erections, but what I am about to share with you is something I can almost guarantee no one has ever told you before. This is the difference maker. As soon as you hit the age of 28, your nitric oxide levels start to drop because your body starts making less of the enzyme that regulates nitric oxide, which I'm going to say that by the time you're in your 50s and 60s and 70s, your nitric oxide levels are 80 to 90% lower than when you were in your 20s. Basically, you're driving on empty. Most of the popular medication out there, it works by giving you a sudden rush in nitric oxide, but it doesn't last very long. So you only have a small window to use it, and you've got to keep taking it every time you want to be intimate. So you might have to even hide it from your wife. And then lots of people, a big lie. It is absolutely less than ideal, and it's not a good idea to take these drugs perhaps long term, because there definitely are side effects, potentially to your heart, to your cardiovascular system. At the end of the day, let's be honest, every guy wants things to work down there without having to pay $10 or $20 every time you want to have sex. So instead of using medication, I focus on the root cause of erections. I'm turning up your body's own natural source of nitric oxide. This way, blood naturally flows to your penis. You get firmer, longer lasting, harder erections when you need them, and you and your partner can enjoy more normal sex. So how exactly do you turn on this natural source of nitric oxide? Well, this brings me back to the secret that I mentioned 500 years ago. So there was a group of explorers who had set out to explore America, but they only until recently, thanks to advancements in science, that researchers were able to finally prove the bark's sexually enhancing power. So in my medical practice, I've been looking for a way to help men boost their sexual performance. Many men who saw less than impressive results from, frankly, modern medicine, or they just wanted to find a more natural way. So when I came across this study on the bark, I was eager to try it. I was honestly shocked to find that this boosted men's arterial blood flow from nitric oxide by an average of 42% compared to placebo. And so I started sharing the bark, multiply its power even further. Now this combination was shown to boost nitric oxide by an average of 200%, making it one of the most powerful combinations of natural ingredients I had ever seen, with one study revealing that it enhanced sexual ability in 92.5% of men who took it, seeing a significant improvement in sexual performance. But even with this new combination, there was still some men who occasionally did not see the greatest of results, or men who strived for better performance still. These are men that I cared about, and it revealed an ingredient that, combined with the other two ingredients, it resulted in a 342% increase in nitric oxide over baseline in just an hour. And this ingredient worked especially well in men over the age of 70. So I obviously added this ingredient to the formula, and now the results were incredible. Almost all men saw results now, even the desperate cases. And I realized that this might be the most powerful, scientifically backed combination of natural ingredients I had ever seen. I saw men who had suffered for decades, and they were coming back to me saying that their sex lives were totally revived. Men in their 70s and 80s who they thought that their sex life was over, now they were having normal sex once more. I could see the formula was creating what's called in science the synergistic effect, meaning that the ingredients combine together to form something more powerful. They don't just add together the power, they multiply the power. So after years of sharing this formula with my thousands of men in my own practice, I started to realize there are millions of men that this could help too. I needed to find a way to get this out to them as well. After all, I can only see so many people, so many men each year. And for many men, flying across the country to see me, it isn't an option. So if I wanted to get this out to the 30 million plus men who needed it in the United States, I would need to think bigger. After an exhaustive search, I could find no product on the market that had these same ingredients in the same ratios I needed them. So I contacted a friend I knew, and he led me to a company that could take the exact formula I was using at my school scale here in my clinic, and they were able to create it into a much larger scale and get it out to the men who would want it. quickly, easily, reliably. I just needed